Congregation told me spending $500,000 a year just on security. That's a really big place.
It's not all that big.
That's not like,
Yeah.
It's a good business.
I think that 3,000 members can include the kids.
Well, like 12.
Yeah.
1,200.
yeah,
Yeah.
they usually classify as that. Maybe one person's your family.
Yeah.
That's when I started talking to myself. I'm kidding. I do have a wife.
I like to meet her sometime.
Yeah, I would meet her too, but
So, do you come to some of Saturdays?
sometimes, well, tomorrow, I'm tired, I want to be here Sunday for a show.
Yeah.
Only because I'd be here tomorrow. I'm just too tired. I'm working like getting ready to go home. Not hitting the fan. Here's our minion.
Hey, how are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you. How are you doing?
Good. Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Daniel?
Yes.
Terry.
Terry, yeah.
This is Spencer.
Nice to meet you. Well, remember your name.
Yeah.
David. Well, I wear a sort of David,
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I should remember that.
Well, you're double coated.
Yeah.
I only got my star.
Well, I have a high, so
Yeah.
it doesn't have any action, like application to people's names.
Well, the star is named after me.
I know. Yeah, there you go.
Just like,
You're just that cool.
I'm glad we shared new information.
Always good to have a reminder.
Keep telling everybody my name's in the book.
Well, mine is there.
Yeah, that's true, it is. That's true.
Somewhere.
Yeah, it's about you and life, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not entirely sure on that.
What do you go on my mother wasn't?
What's that?
I was ready to go, my mother wasn't.
Every
And
day you
my
go,
mother
just
said, I'm coming home in 5 minutes. We found that, so I left
sounds like
in
fun.
5 hours.
Sounds like more fun than dancing.
Yeah.
That bear is lying behind you.
Yes,
Yeah,
my dad
I don't
was
think my
mom
path
and I
has
tagged
been so
along.
smooth.
How's your four-legged brother?
Unfortunately, I was very
But
brutal.
How's your four-legged brother?
So ginger
my four-legged sister is good.
Good.
She's
She's a sister.
my very friendly sister.
I can tell you, anywhere you want, you have room.
Did she get it? She got it.
What?
Wow, and it's right back in.
This one. Yeah. I need the view. They came to fire on this first valley.
So she got into the school.
My old guy.
Well, he left. Once she got out of this, Tom had to go out for something. You can see it's good. So I went sort of after her. Go to far right along. Into the sun. And I was just wondering.
How you-
Ladies and gentlemen, why don't you
Soneg, and we can do our thing. All right, well, we're going to get going. Anybody want to light candles tonight? Twist your arm? Somebody twist anybody's arm? Nobody's volunteering? Oh, you're volunteering. Okay, good. Present. You can come up. Ooh, look how festive. That's a festive shirt.
That's what Marcia Strong said.
Yeah, it's festive. How's the doggy?
Oh, no, he's okay.
It's not there. Let's see. Oh, it's there. It's just hiding. I think I moved it away on Shabbat morning.
Oh,
All right, we rise and turn to page 4.
oh, look at me. I'm getting good.
Very nice. Jonah, stand up, please.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidsanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'habed shel Shabbat.
Amen. You're fine. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
That was awesome. Yay, go Mindy. He just said, go Mindy. I'm going to do this. I forgot to open them. I did turn the light on earlier, but I forgot to open it. All right, here we go. All right. So we're going to begin, as we always do, over on page 5. Or there you will find Shalom Aleichem as we welcome in Shabbat. I have to move back now. Linda and Tom are taking up the second row. I don't know what to do with that. Good for you. Can you get your friends in the back row to come up? You can't say it's because of the light. The lighting is not. It's what? I don't. Well, yeah. If I get it. Well, that's why I come down too. If I were down here, I wouldn't want to do that either. It's like being at the theater. You ever be at the theater in the front row? It's probably great for it's not good for a movie, that's for sure. When you have a screen, right? All right, well, we're on page 5 as we welcome in Shabbat, and we have the chance to, again, take a breath. It was a very busy week. We had the end of Passover. Boy, that feels like 2 weeks ago. I don't know. We had the end of Passover, but I know it's not because my Passover stuff is still all sitting out. I haven't moved it. I mean, I moved it away, but I haven't packed it back up or put it where it needs to go yet. So that's how I know it was very recent. Hopefully I can say this next Friday, it's back where it needs to go by then, so we'll see. But we take a deep breath and we welcome in the longer day being a later sunset and therefore a longer Shabbat as well, so more time to rest. Page 5. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem l'shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Please turn over to page 10, page 10, as we join together in their first verse of Yedid Nefesh, our beautiful song that welcomes in that spirit of Shabbat to us as that bride or queen, if you will, but thinking about God as part of our soul, if you will. That's kind of the theme of the psalm. So page 10. Yedid Nefesh av harachaman Mishach avdach el ritzonach Yarutz avdach kemo ayal Yishtachaveh mul hadarach Ki erav lo yedidutach Mino fetzuf vechol ta'am Yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yadadai-dai-dai. Yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Hadornae ziv ha'olam, nafshi cholat ahavatach. Ana elna refana la beharot la noam zivach az titchazek vetitrape vehaitalach Shivchat olam, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai. Yada-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai, yada-dai-dai-dai-dai-dai. Page 11. You'll find the formal beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, ladonai. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, ladonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nekadma fana bitoda. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, ladonai. Lechu niranina, lechu niranina, lechu niranina, ladonai. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim asher yirama. You'll find the conclusion to the psalm on page 12 by the arrow. Arba'im shana kut bedor va'omar am to'e levav heim veheim lo yadu derachai asher nishbati v'yapi Im yevon el menuchati. Page 14 by the arrow. We'll join together in the verse coming from the 96th Psalm as we rejoice in celebration of Shabbat. So does the world around us. So we join together. Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo. Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo, azyiranenu kol atzei ya'ar, lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot ha'aretz, yishpot tevel v'tzedek v'yamim b'emunato. You'll kindly turn to page 19 at the bottom. We have been intermittently adding this in our tefillah. It is a wonderful contemporary reading from a Tel Aviv prayer community that reminds us of the purpose of Shabbat as this island, as this focal point for our lives of redemption. Let's read together in the English on the bottom of the page in the small print. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your coming. Bring with you rest and peace following a tumultuous week filled with so many demands. Bring the space in which, with others and alone, we can shape an infinity of dreams. Bring the hour of forgiveness in which to hear the pounding heart of another human being. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your Creator. Blessed is your light. Amen. We turn to page 20 by the arrow as we join together. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Page 21, you'll find the 29th Psalm. We rise as we join together, listening for the voice of God in the world around us. Kol Adonai is the main part of the tefillah, or the psalm, as we join together, page 21. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim rabim, kol Adonai b'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai et arzei halavanon, vayarkidem kemo egel levanon v'siryon kemo ven re'emim, kol Adonai chotzef lavotesh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh. Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot. Vayechesof ye'arot. Uvehechalo kulo omer kavod. Adonai lamabu yashav. Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai os le'amo yitain. Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. You are welcome to be seated. Page 23, you'll find Lecha Dodi as we welcome in Shabbat as our bride or queen into our midst. We will do the first two verses on 23. One day I'm going to surprise you and call different verses. But for right now, the first two verses on 23, the middle verse on 24, the last two on 25. Maybe next week we'll do something different. But we join together as we sing Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem ultif eret v'litzila. Lechad Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha, ki mekor habaracha mehirosh mikedem nisucha, sof maaseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Middle 24. Hitoreri, kiva orech kumi ori. Uri, shirda beiri, kevod Adonai Allah yechnigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. 25. Yamin u'semol tifrotzi, v'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yad ish ben partzi, v'nismecha v'nagila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala. We rise and face the door, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. B'hoi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola. Toch emunei am segula, b'wichala. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, p'nei Shabbat nekabela. You are welcome to be seated. Page 27, you'll find the Psalm for Shabbat as we join together. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodod la-Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chasdecha, ve'emunatcha baleilot, alei asor v'alei navel, alei higayon bechinor, mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodod la-Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. By the arrow on 28. Tzadika tamar yifrach, ke'erez balevanon yiskeh, shetulim beveit Adonai, bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu, od yenuvun b'seva, deshenim verananim yiyu lehagid, ki ashar Adonai tzuri tzuri velo havlatabo. 29. Adonai malach geud lavesh lavesh Adonai ositazar avti kontevel paltimo. Nachon kisach Edotechanemnu me'od lehaveincha na'ava kodesh Adonai liorech yamim. All those reciting Kaddish Shatom, the mourner's Kaddish, you'll find it over on page 30. And again, as we have been for since October, we have been designated this Kaddish as one that we've paused to remember those who lost their lives in the attacks on October 7th. And certainly as we approach Yom HaShoah, we think of those who lost their lives in the Shoah as well on this particular Friday night. So page 30. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach leolam ulamei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran b'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May be seated. All right, here we go. It's a poll. We're small and mighty tonight, so I can, all amongst friends here, so I can ask, do you want the story or the little more serious one? With the caveat, the story is one you might have heard before. I'm sure it is one you've heard before. Okay, I've had one story. Story time? Okay, I've tried to, I have to be fair to those intellectuals who go out, no, I wanted the Var Torah. There is always a point with what we share. It's not just fun. I'll save the other stuff for next year. But this one you might have heard. I know I've shared it before in probably in some context. if not maybe last year, but it's a great story because it's about our great sage Hillel. You all are familiar with Hillel, perhaps. Hillel versus his nemesis. Who's his nemesis? Shammai, right? Hillel and Shammai. Well, Hillel lived in the, I have to put this in terms of like, Star Wars, Power Rangers. There's a nemesis, right? His nemesis, his alter ego, Hillel, Shammai. Meet in the battle, right? Meet in the stadium. It's the Beyblade Stadium. If you don't know what Beyblades are, you must not have a 10-year-old kid or grandkid anywhere. Yes. Do you know what they are? You know what they are? Okay, so you do know. Okay. So, yeah, you do. Rabbi Hillel lived in the 1st century, and he was a leader of a very important group, of course, of scholars and teachers. He was part of the early rabbis, if you will. The Pharisees, in particular, was before they became really the rabbis in the rabbinic period. And the Pharisees looked at the words of the Torah, and they saw the Torah as needing to be studied with a sense of interpreting for each generation. They're the progenitors, really, of what we have as Rabbinic Judaism today. And those of you who were in our class last Sunday, we talked about what's Rabbinic Judaism. Rabbinic Judaism is Judaism. It's what we know of today. But back then, it was differentiating itself from other forms of Judaism way back. Even Orthodoxy is Rabbinic Judaism today, right? It's looking at the Torah, it's interpreting it, it's trying to figure out how it best applies to our world, whether you're going to narrowly apply it or very liberally apply it. Either way, that's the rabbinic process. So here comes Hillel, who is, again, a progenitor to that. He was one of the great rabbis of the time, and he was one of the most beloved, not just a great rabbi himself, but he was beloved, and people saw him and could relate to him. He was kind of, the common man's favorite guy, if you will, right? And there's lots of stories, of course, where he is portrayed as a wise counselor and a very patient teacher, and so that's where this one comes from. Now, keep in mind that the parashah for this week, as we've been studying, is Acharei Mot. It's usually with Kedoshim, but it's by itself this week. And Acharei Mot and Kedoshim together entail what we call the Holiness Code. And we'll talk tomorrow morning more about what that means in terms of what holiness means. But what it is it gives us the basis for how do we relate to each other? How do we relate to God? How do we relate to one another? How do we bring holiness into the world? And so this is something you'll hear and you'll know what it's about. So there was once a young courtier in King Herod's palace. That tells you the time frame for those of you who are history nuts, right? Who made a wager with his friends that he could make Rabbi Hillel angry. Now remember, Hillel, very even-tempered, nice guy, doesn't get upset, kind of fun, right? So he had heard of Hillel, this guy, right? And he decided that he wanted to see if he was really as wise and patient as everyone said he was. So on the following day, he went to the study house where Hillel was teaching a portion of the Torah. And he went in, he said, Rabbi, interrupting the lesson, of course, why do the Babylonians have round heads? Okay, well, Hillel turned to him and said, now he could have gotten mad because he interrupted his important lesson, but instead he said, that is because their midwives are not properly trained. Right? So he gave him he wasn't expecting that, gave him a real answer, or at least one that was real for him, and the young man left. But in the next day, he came back again and he cried out in the middle of a heated discussion about a very important legal matter, Rabbi, why do the Egyptians have flat feet? Hillel responded, that is because they walk for miles along the marshlands of the Nile. Pretty quick, actually, right? And then he quickly returned to his students and their legal discussion. Wait, Rabbi, I have another question for you, the young man called out. Hillel spoke softly. Ask it, my friend, and I shall try to answer. Why do the Numidians have such weak eyes? Hillel said, as he thought for a moment, I'm sure that is because of the harsh wind that blows throughout their land and the sand that is always blowing into their eyes. And with that, again, he returned peacefully to the discussion at hand. But Herod's courtier couldn't give up yet. He had wagered 400 zuzim. Anybody know how many 400 zuzim is? It's a pretty good hefty price. If you've had a wedding, if you had a ketubah, a Jewish wedding document, right? That's how you pay the bride price in zuzim, right? Okay, so 400 is a pretty good price. And so he had wagered 400 zuzim with his friends that he could make this great Rabbi Hillel angry. But he didn't want to lose this bet. So all night he stayed up and he kept trying to think of how he could figure out how to make Hillel angry. The next day he burst through the door of the study house, totally interrupting everything, stood in front of Rabbi Hillel and started hopping up and down, saying, Rabbi, can you teach me the whole of Torah while I stand on one foot? You've heard this. Now you go, oh yeah, I know this story, right? All of Hillel's students looked up from the text they were reading and stared at this crazy guy. He'd stop, hopping up and down on one foot. So repeating the question over and over, he looked like a stork flapping his wings and squawking. They whispered to each other, they whispered to one another, we study the teachings of the Torah day in and day out. How can this Hillel give him an answer in just a few words? His students are looking at him going, there's no way the rabbi can answer this with any kind of, this is what we do all day. I mean, 1 foot, forget it. It can't happen. Now, I can stop here and ask, if you were Hillel, what would you have said? But some of you already know the punchline, so I'll keep going. Rabbi Hillel remained unperturbed, and he looked straight into the young man's eyes, and he said, carefully, that which is hateful to yourself or unto yourself, do it not unto your neighbor. That's the whole Torah. The rest is commentary. Zil Gomor, go and learn. Now, what did you hear about that one, right? That which is hateful unto yourself, do it not unto your neighbor. Is that really what the verse is from our portion? Not quite. Actually, it's a little bit different. What is it? Love your neighbor as yourself, right? That's where we're going to read that in the parashah directly next week, but that's the gist of this whole sense of holiness code that begins this week and continues next week. So the young courtier stood perfectly still, and then he said to Hillel, I hope there are no more in the land of Israel like you. And Hillel then said, why is that? And the courtier replied in a huff, because of you, I've lost a wager of 400 zuzim. Hillel smiled into his beard, rubbed it a little, and said, my friend, it is better that you should lose a wager than I should lose my temper. The young man returned to Herod's court, and what happened to him after that is very hard to say, but we know for a fact that the words of Hillel, the wise and patient teacher, are remembered to this very day. Wonderful, wonderful teaching that comes off, and it's a wonderful legend. This is recorded as a Talmudic story, a story from the Talmud. So it's not just a made-up story from today. It's put in good language for us, but it's a story straight from the Talmud, which many religious traditions we know have the golden rule, right? Christian tradition has the do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But Quran, by the way, says repel the evil with what is better, and you will see the worst of enemies can become the best of friends. So it's a very similar, right, idea. But for us, he turns it around and reminds us that to do something quickly or to do something that you don't like, right, is not the way we need to go in terms of how we understand our Torah. Of course, the message is, again, don't do to your neighbor what you don't want done to you. It's just the variation on that, love your neighbor as yourself, v'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. And again, it is a part of the holiness code that we study this week and next week. So next time you think about it, think about what holiness is, think about what it means to love your neighbor. And again, Hillel put it for us in his wisdom, understood that it's easier to think about what we don't like than what we do like sometimes, right? If you ask me what my favorite movie is, I don't think I can give you one favorite movie, but if you ask me what kind of movies do I not like, I can tell you a lot about those. He knows. If it's horror, don't give me any Chucky movies, right? Forget that, right? So think about it in the context. Even Hillel, generations ago, understood the human condition, and he understood what it really meant to try to tap into our own experiences. And he reconciled with the Torah, saying, you know what, the Torah, it teaches this concept of loving our neighbor. I'm going to make that something that I can teach to others and let others grasp onto by understanding what it truly means. It means avoiding the things that we don't like, right? We know that our neighbor might not like either. So think about it in that context. It's a wonderful story, classic story, and it is where we as Jews get our golden rule, if you will. So next time you hear someone say, but it's the golden rule, you can say, well, whose golden rule is it exactly? And you can think of Hillel and his teaching. With that, we're going to go into the evening service on page 39a. See, you got a story and a little lesson. That's the goal always. Next year, I'll give you a little lesson without the story. How's that? Page 39a, we rise as we join together. Yai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yai-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yai-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Baruch hu et Adonai hamivorach. Baruch Adonai hamivorach. Hamivorach leolam va'ed. Hamivorach, hamivorach leolam va'ed. May be seated. We're in the middle of 39a. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Umavir yom umehevi laila umavdil ben yom uven laila Adonai tzavot shemo el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed Baruch atah Adonai hamarid v'aravim. We join together page 40. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochveinu u'v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam v'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'orech yameinu v'orech yameinu u'bahem nege yomam v'layla Yomam v'layla V'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael. 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Malchut Le'olam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uvshoch becha uvkumecha ugshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. In the English together on 41. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. We turn on over to page 44. You'll find Umalchuto Baratzon leading up to Michamocha, our words that we just studied and said in context on Tuesday when we read the Torah for our holiday. We read the Song of the Sea. These are the words Michamocha come from the Song of the Sea. There are words as we pass through the Red Sea from slavery to freedom. So we keep that in our thoughts. Umalchuto beratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe u'Miriam u'vnei Yisrael lechanuhu shira b'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osefele Malchutecha ra'uvanecha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu v'yamru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov U'galo mi'ad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Page 45, we read together our Hashkivenu prayer, a prayer for shalom, for peace, on the left side in the English. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us, and you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Amen. We join at the top of 45 on the right. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha l'chaim ul'shalom me'ata v'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu malkeinu l'chaim. Page 46, we rise as we join together in the singing of Vishamru. Jonah, if you will kindly help lead it. Page 46. 1, 2, 3. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat lahasot et ha-Shabbat Ledorotam berito lam v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית olam. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish, middle of 46. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayei dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala, Ubizman Kariv, Vimeru, Amen. Yeheshmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Lalmei Almaya, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitpa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitale, V'yitalal, Shemei Dekudisha Berichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran v'alma v'meru. Amen. You'll find the Silent Amidah this evening beginning pages 47 through 52. As always, feel free to add your own personal thoughts or meditations to the words on the page. And when you're through, you are welcome to be seated. If you remember, we are now past Passover, so we add Morid Hatal in the second part of the Amidah Avot. Kaddish Shalem you'll find on page 54, as Jonah helps me. The reason I don't let him do it himself is because he's not a bar mitzvah yet, so he can't do it by himself yet, but he knows it fairly well, so he sings with me. That's the idea, right? Three more years? 3 more years, I know. Not quite, actually. Pretty soon, 2.5. Come here. 1, 2, 3. Yit gadal v'yikadash shemei rabba. Ve'alma divrach yidute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechonu v'mechonu v'chayedocho be'Yisrael ba'galav yizman kari v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach. Le'olam olam me'almaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha. Barichu le'ed lamin kol rachata v'shirata tishbachata v'nechmata da'amiram b'yama v'imeru. Amen. Titkal bal tzaloton uva uton dechol Yisrael kodam avo nevi shemaya v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav Uyaseh shalom aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, amen. We are going to, before we go counting the Omer, I will not forget, we turn forward in our Siddur to page 173. There you will find the Mishaberach, our prayer for those who are in need of healing. As always, I have a list here, but I will certainly allow you to add any names that you have in your thoughts at the moment to our list. So as we prepare on 173 to sing our Mishaberach, we keep in our thoughts Daniel Eliezer ben Tzvi, Shulamit bat Gittel, Yisrael bat Tzipora, Shulamit bat Binyamin Umalka, Dan Siegel, Danielle Rice, Gittel Glasser, Ari Sanders, Ariel Afieri, Peyton Matthews, Bill Buck, Samuel Sheridan, Estelle Laurie, Lynn Alexander, Marjorie Morstein, Linda Cutler, Diane Hickey, Barbara Feingold, Harriet Siegel, Lori Kahan Simon, Bob Bugos, Nadine Hyman, Ed Tansky, Irene Friedman, Joel Lowenstern, Gary Kramer, Arthur Stone, Natalie Kogan, Diana Saltzman, Victor Alfieri, Michael Abrams, Francis Haber, Michelle Stupak, Caitlin Weathers, Alex Schwartz, Danielle Santini, Becky Smith, Julia Bernanke, Irene Goodman, Teresa Timmons, Esther Rowe, Suzanne Gott, Joan Klepp, Estelle Rice, Hannah Lipman, Gary Hutcher, Deborah Haggery, Susan Aller, and Megan Contigno, and any names we add at this moment. Keep them in our thoughts as we join together on 173. Misheberach Avoteinu Mekor HaBeracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor haberacha la'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Refuah shlema, to all in need. We turn back in our Siddur to page 63 before we go into Aleinu. We are in the period of counting the Omer, of course, and at this point, it doesn't matter if I did it every day. I would still mess up. I mean, I do it every day, but I still can't remember from one day to the other what it is. So I have my trusty luach here, which reminds me. So tonight, as we prepare to count the Omer, I will let you know that last night was day 10. The tradition is don't say what today is, right? The new day that's coming. So you can count. If you know how to count, it was day 10 last night. So keep that in mind. So we turn to page 63 and we rise as we join in the bracha, the English and then the bracha in the Hebrew together. And then you will turn over 2 pages onto page 65. The editors of our Siddur did not make this easy, but you will see for the 25th of Nisan, it's 3 lines down on page 65 rather, you will find the counting. So page 63, we read together, I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer as it is written in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the 2nd day of Pesach, when an Omer of grain is to be brought as an offering, 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. The bracha in the Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, al sfirat ha-omer. Amen. If you'll turn down to page 65, 4th one down, we read together, Hayom Achad Asar Yom Shehem Shavua Echad V'Arba'a Yamim La Omer. Today marks the 11th day. That's exactly 1 week and 4 days in the counting of the Omer. And as we count each day, if you saw my message in previous emails, we try to make each day of life count as well. So keep that in mind as we turn back in our Siddur to page 56. There I will need some help by some young gentlemen to open up the ark. That's you, and you. Put a kippah on your head, big guy. Page 56, as we remain standing and join together. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gahar aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu kor'im, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu noteh shamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, b'gov hei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efezulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yadatayom v'hashevota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mima'al, v'aretz mitachat ein od. Ki hamalchut shelcha hi ulamei timloch bechavod.
Kakatu b'tortecha Adonai yimloch le'olam ba'ed.
V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz. Vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad. are welcome to be seated. Thank you, gentlemen. Could have done it together. It would have been all right. Yes, I know. It's a wrapper. Thank you. As we prepare to recite our Mourner's Kaddish this evening, which you'll find on page 58, we keep in our thoughts those whose yortzites occurred today and the week that is coming. Rose Lender, Bella Selden, Arthur Leffitz, Herman Roven, Harold Hempling, Edward Lipson, Celia Lipson, Hortense Siegel, Emma Gilbert, Mark H. Kantrowitz, Dorothy Brotman, Zelik Lurie, Raphael Zaglin, Rose Rice, David Bruckner, Terry Bereskin, Myra Cutler, and Bertha Libber. All those reciting, again, you'll find it on page 58, and as we continue, we keep in our thoughts Barbara Rabhan as well. 58. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah v'alma divra chirute v'amlich malchute v'chayechon uvyumechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman karib v'imru amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam olomei olmaya Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom yimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You are welcome to be seated. Richard, I think you're my designated Bema buddy. You already got it on your hands there. I'll let you do however you. Uh-oh. Oh, on live. Well, that's a good thing. An on-live visitor. Here, do you want this, or do you want to go up, or you want to?
I'll be
sorry. Yeah, you just. Yeah, we're fine. There we go. Yeah, they'll hear you.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Come on.
Good Shabbos, everyone. Please join us at the services tonight for Oneg, tonight sponsored by Small Caltro. Saturday morning Kiddush tomorrow will be hosted by Rhonda and Matt Fair. Updates. The office was closed today and will also be closed on Monday the 6th. There'll be no classes this Sunday, May 5th. Please remember to come Sunday morning for the Yom HaShoah commemoration, beginning at 10:15 in the David Social Hall. It's going to be a combined program between the temple and us for a day of remembrance with presentation, table discussion, songs, and prayers. On the same day in the afternoon, Greenville Jewish Film Festival has a pop-up movie. The name of which is Four Winners, and it's at the Camelot Theater. Tickets must be purchased at greenvilljewishfilmfestival.com. Some save the dates. Saturday, March 11th is our Sunday School Shabbat.
Sunday School on Shabbat,
yeah.
it should say.
Right?
It should say Sunday School on Shabbat.
On Shabbat. From 10 a.m. to 12:15, support our religious school as the students help lead Shabbat morning services. Be a kid-friendly Kiddush lunch to follow. And I never can pronounce this, but Yom Ha'atzmaut
You got it.
is being celebrated Tuesday, May 14th, from 5:30 to 8. Join us in recognizing Israel's 76th birthday. And just remember, weekly reminders. Tuesday is adult education class with Fred Leverett to meet at 5:30 by Zoom. And otherwise, please consult the website, the newsletter, and bulletin for further details and more information. Anniversaries this week, Rhonda and Matt Farrell, and Melinda and Brian Boyd. Some important birthdays this coming week, I think. Rabbi, you know of any? Day to all of you. And Harold, happy belated birthday. And that's Shabbat Shalom.
So here's my candy deliverer. I had to go get more candy since some of them took it already. Wait a minute. Harold, we celebrated last week. His was smack dab in the middle of the week. Wednesday was his birthday, right? I get this this week, right? Wednesday, right in the middle of the week. So you don't know whether to do before. Well, we did both. So he had his 92nd birthday this past Wednesday, but he didn't get candy. I will. They're already eating my candy. Are you kidding me? I don't want that kind. Give me something good. Oh, here we go. I got one. You want to give me a kiss? Thank you. But a happy birthday. I think we certainly need to sing happy birthday because your birthday's next Shabbat, I think, next Friday, right? Are we going to give you off from preparing the oneg? Yes. She's got already plans to be off from preparing the oneg. So let's join together. Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Yay, a happy birthday. May's a big month, I guess. It's got a lot going on. So happy birthday to all those who are celebrating this week and who celebrated last week. Did I get everybody? Did I miss anybody? Anybody here I didn't get? There's a lot of Mays. I know I got me already. That's fine. Thank you. It's just making sure we didn't miss any anniversaries and stuff. All right, so that's it. That's all we had for this week. So just keep in mind Sunday in particular, please. I know we just announced it, but we hope you'll join us for our Yom HaShoah observance. I think you'll find it very meaningful, and we'll have some ceremony of memory, certainly, and then we'll do some learning in memory of those who lost their lives in the Shoah and the Holocaust. And I think you'll find it well worth getting up on Sunday morning if you don't normally. And those of you who do, like go to Hebrew class or my class or go teach, right? I don't know if you'll sneak up or not, but it's certainly worth coming in if you can for the special program. With that, and don't forget May 11th, you did mention it. That's a really important one for us because we're kind of closing out the year. Our kids have been working really hard. They're going to lead the Torah service. Someone is going to be reading Torah for the first time ever. So we got that. It's Sam Feldman's anniversary of his bar mitzvah next Saturday. So we've got a lot going on Shabbat. So come here on Friday night and then come again on Saturday morning. That's all I'm going to say. It'll be well worth it. And there'll be, if you like mac and cheese and cake, you'll get a lot of that too for kiddush lunch. So come join us. With that, we're going to conclude with a little bit of Bim Bam Shabbat Shalom. I have to keep the candy over here because otherwise some guys will eat it. And then we'll head in the back for kiddush and motzi. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam bim bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat 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 shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shalom, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, Shalom, hey, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. Shabbat, Shalom, everyone. We'll head in the back for a non-Passover nosh. Yay! All right.
That's what kids do.